Hi, and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast. I'm Bobby Quarters. Chaos is here with me as well. We just wanted to thank you for watching.
Yes. Hey, Bobby.
And hey, and while you're here, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You could follow me on YouTube as well as Chaos and the podcast channel, which all three of those channels will be streaming this very show you're about to watch. All these counselors start dropping dead, left and right. Heinous killings. Turns out, that kid who drowned the year before, his mother came back to that camp and exacted revenge.
Your father, he waits.
Much to learn, much to teach. There are dangers beyond our village.
This is Professor Xavier's School for the Gifted. All of us here are mutants, like yourself.
Your violence will solve nothing. We must use our special gifts to bring peace to mankind.
Better that we die on our feet than live on our knees.
In this wasteland, I am the one who runs from both the living and the dead.
By my hand, you arise!
We are not things! We are not things!
Where is she taking them? I want them back! They're my property!
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day! Want to get through this?
Hello. I guess I can add Bobby as well.
Yeah,
Why
you
not?
can. Hi. How
Yeah,
are you?
why not? That'd be fun for Shiggles.
I mean, I'm here after all.
I mean, I'm only half here. If you're listening, I'm 100% here. But if you're watching, I am lazy and didn't get set up for a camera, so I'm just going audio on this one. Party on. Party
Yes.
on. But you get fantastic video of Bobby, so there you go.
Yes,
There
that's
you go.
right.
In fact, we can just do the podcast like this. Won't be awkward for Bobby at all.
Yeah,
Won't
no,
be.
not at all. Not
This
at
isn't
all.
awkward. We're fine.
Nah.
Dance for us.
You could just be that person behind the curtain. No, pay no attention
Yeah,
to him.
true.
He
Yeah.
doesn't exist. He don't matter.
Yes. Hey, Mikael. Hey, Chuck.
Hey guys.
Yeah, so I guess a couple of things to bring up. Like next week, Bobby, you'll be off because I'll be talking about Craftwork with George.
Okay. Yes.
So we'll get a new. It won't be Gary Newman at the beginning anymore. It'll probably be Autobahn or some Kraftwerk song. I'm not a huge fan of the album they did on the Big Lebowski, but other than that, they're all right.
That wasn't them. Those people were nihilists.
Oh, true. They care for.
They believe in
I forgot.
nothing. They are
Yes,
cowards.
yes.
They're nihilists.
Yes. I always get them confused, but what? I think there was something
They
else, but I
believe
don't
in
remember.
nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, and
But we do have
eventually, later in
movies.
August.
Oh.
Yeah, well, later in August, we're going to be covering a few different more shows this summer. And
Yeah, we
throughout
got
the
a few
year.
shows coming up. Yeah. Well, I think there's going to be Collective Soul coming up in a couple weeks, and my daughter
have fun
says
with
she's excited to do that one.
You have fun with that one.
So that will be the two of us, which will be fun. And then have to go to Columbus for that one because if they're doing a show in Cincinnati, but Hootie is and the Blowfish are opening, and it's like I don't have anything against Hootie and the Blowfish, but I don't want to.
I do.
Yeah.
Not so much
I
the
mean,
Blowfish. It's Hootie.
Well, yeah, his country shit is
He knows what he
really
did. He knows what he did. It's funny you say that because that came on that his country song came on the radio today.
Ugh.
His cover Wagon Wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say one thing I do appreciate. I don't know if you've seen the boys shorts, but they do the short animation things, and there's one.
Yeah.
There's one of the supers where their power is they just play. What is it? I only want to be with you. That's their superpower. They just play that nonstop. And the character goes on a murder spree while that just plays nonstop during the short. It's like, oh my
fantastic.
God. Yeah.
That is fantastic.
It's twisted and fun.
And
the boys is coming up soon, so that'll be exciting.
And after Collective Soul, it's Beat.
Primus. Or is there another one?
No, there's Primus.
Yeah, I think we got
Beats
Primus
later.
in July. Yeah.
No, Primus is in August.
I think it's July.
So you're looking at the Columbus show because that's August.
Is it?
August.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think it's early August now I think about it.
Yeah. That'll be your first time seeing Primus.
I can't even where to go. Yes, August 6th. Okay, yes. It's my first time seeing Les Claypool anything, so that will be. I'm excited to see that one.
That'll be joyous. That'll be a fun time. That'll be like my sixth or something.
Quit bragging.
I've honestly lost count.
But yeah, there'll be some shows I cover on my own. We'll see. If I do all the concerts I have listed, I'll be busy. I don't know. It might be fun. I don't know. There's a couple that I'll do by myself.
But Beat, you and I are also covering that one, right?
Yeah, Beat. I'm interested to see what that'll be like because I do like King Crimson's 80s stuff. I don't know if they'll cover. I don't know if they're just going to do all three of those albums because it seems like that's what they advertise.
If anything, I think that they're definitely going to at least like close with the Court of the Crimson King.
Yeah. Well, like 21st Century Schizoid Man and Court of the Crimson King are like huge songs to Crimson. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just hoping for a heavy playoff Discipline. Because that one is my favorite.
I like all three of those albums, but yeah, Discipline is definitely the one where it's like, that one's a banger.
Elephant Talk is just too good.
Yeah. That'll all be fun. But you know what? Today we have an exciting show because we have King of the Planet Apes. We got X-Men Season 5, and oh boy, do I have things to say.
Oh boy, indeed.
And then Mad Max Fury Road. And I have things to say there, but I have things to say about everything. But
I do too. I do too. Yeah, especially Mad Max.
Mm-hmm. Well,
popular things to say, but yes.
We got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes first. And there's no trailer on this IMDb page. That makes it a bit easier. But
that is nice.
nice. The short of it is, I think this is a decent movie. I think this is probably my least favorite of the prequel movies so far. But it's fine. Like, it definitely shows an expansion of the story. I remember looking at the cast list and be like, hey, where's Andy Serkis? Where's Caesar? And it's like, oh, it opens with him dying. Okay.
Yeah, because he died at the end of war.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he died at the end of war.
Did he? I don't remember that.
Yeah, he did. He and Maurice say their goodbyes.
I don't remember that at all. But anyways, yeah, this is at least like 10 or so years after that, Caesar's kind of become a legend. I will say, well, here before I get into story details, Bobby, we have two similar names. What's up with that? What are your broad thoughts on this one?
Broad thoughts. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you in saying that it is also my least favorite out of the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, it probably would have been War. War was probably my least favorite out of the last few.
I remember really liking War, but I haven't revisited it.
Or no,
since
not
then,
War.
so
No,
maybe
it's
I wouldn't.
the one with Patrick Warburton. Dawn.
The one with
Dawn.
Okay.
Dawn is the one because War has Woody Harrelson, and I actually like
Yes.
that. But like it's yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dawn, because it's the one thing that Gary Oldman tried to save, but he really couldn't. That's right. Yeah, because Gary Oldman's is in Dawn.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think like it's been a while since I've revisited these, probably since War. So probably like I remember my least favorite there probably being Rise. But I don't know. I think they're all pretty good, and I think this one's kind of good. I think it's a step down from those three, but it's still.
But there's stuff I didn't like
Good,
about
yeah.
Rise, like how the bad guy at the medicine clinic where James Franco worked,
Mhm.
like how he seemed like he would be a bad guy or a threat, and he really kind of turned out to be nothing, and then disappeared for a while, and then was back again, and then just got like quickly, dismissed from the film by an ape killing him.
Yeah.
So,
Wait,
yeah.
Chuck Wood? Tim Burton didn't direct any of the Apes movies. What are you talking about? I'm really confused.
We don't talk about that.
What?
We don't talk about that one.
What?
The only thing that's redeemable, I think, about that one, since we're going to talk about it,
Oh,
is
goddamn, yes.
the makeup in there.
Yes.
is
No,
great.
there's great makeup. There's
And
great actors.
If
in
we
that
compare
one.
it, if we
Not
compare it
Marky
to
Mark.
at the
No.
time the first one was out, like the first ones with Charlton Heston from the 60s and the
Yes.
70s, like the makeup in that was so great, but in
Uh-huh.
those were groundbreaking, but the actors really couldn't be expressive.
Mm-hmm.
In Tim Burton's, they were expressive. And
Yeah.
can we just like I still think that Tim Roth's character is like the greatest villain in the franchise.
Oh
The
yeah,
best
Tim
villain
Roth.
in the
Is,
franchise. Yeah.
like I said, I like all the actors in that reboot make, not named Marky Mark. Just all of them are great. Oh
Yeah, Chris Christopherson is amazing in it, but he's
dude, yeah.
great in anything. Like
You got Helena Bonham Carter. You got Paul Giamatti. You got Charlton Heston in a little cameo. I'm down for a lot of that. I guess it's for trying to sell seats, but yeah, Marky Mark was the one that really didn't work for me at all.
no.
But yeah, it was like, yeah, it's great makeup. In fact, I'd say that's the one thing about the prequels I kind of miss, even though I think they overall do fantastic CGI. Like, I do kind of wish at times it was the makeup, but I also understand how like this is supposed to be like before when they were less humanoid and more monkey-like, so it'd be hard to do that. But
Yeah.
The makeup in that 2001 one was insanely fucking good. Yeah. Michael Clark Duncan was also in that. Oh my god, yes, he was great. Michael Clark Duncan was a great actor, by the way. He is missed.
Very much.
Yeah, and I was looking it up because Wes Ball, who directed this, he was a familiar name, and yeah, I was like, what else did he do? And he did the Maze Runner movies, and of those young adult movies, those ones were okay. I've never revisited them, but I remember watching them in theater and being like, this is okay. I didn't hate myself after watching it, so hey. So yeah, I guess if we were to get into the story of this is I was actually kind of shocked how rigidly this is almost like a hero's journey fantasy story, like almost down to the letter. Yeah, you follow this ape Noah, who I think it's like third or fourth credit in the cast list.
Nope, he's first right there.
Well, he's first, yeah, on here, but I'm trying to remember how he was listed. I looked up before. He's listed first here. I remember looking it up earlier, and he was like way further down. Well, he is the main character, so that makes sense.
Was it on the Google?
It might have been. I think Freya Allen was listed first. It was like Freya Allen, Kevin Durant, and then maybe him. Yes, but yeah, essentially he is the hero. He gets the whole hero's journey. You know, he's a kid with his other friends out adventuring in the world. Then they go back to their quaint little village of bird trainers with his friends, and then and he suspects there's a human around him stealing stuff, and then his village is burned down and destroyed, and then he goes on kind of an adventure trying to track down the survivors of his village and bring them home. And it's like, wow, this could be Star Wars with an ape.
Yeah.
He meets this elder ape who's not a wizard, but like he is super knowledgeable. Raka, who's played by Peter Macon. From the Orville.
His
best
voice
character in the movie.
Yeah,
oh my
seriously.
God.
I like the whole time I'm like, where do I know this voice from?
Yes.
Where do I know this voice from?
Yeah, he is Commander Bortus from the Orville, and oh my God. Yeah, I loved his character. Just yeah.
It is the Google that has him third build. I have it open now.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I was kind of surprised, but yeah. So like I said, overall, I enjoyed this movie. I wouldn't. It does feel like they're setting up just another franchise, whereas the prequels kind of felt like they're just doing like early days of the Planet of the Apes. How we get to see how humans kind of go down and apes kind of rise up. This just doesn't really feel like that as much as just continuing the story. That being said, it's fine. It does that job. I don't know how interested I am in other Apes movies, but I'm not disinterested, so I guess that's something. Yeah. Bobby?
Yeah. This was good for a lot of different like things that made it really good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got there. Okay. I clicked into something and it took me into some. I had to backtrack. Okay. Yeah. This was good. I feel like they're definitely setting up more movies.
Oh yeah.
Like
Well, definitely with that ending.
Absolutely are. I didn't stay. Did you stay for the end of the credits to see if there was anything?
No. I guess there was a little audio stinger right at the end, but I didn't want to stay for it. And I guess I was even reading, and they're like, there was an audio stinger for at the end of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that they didn't even follow up on in War. So it was just like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like one thing I noticed, like the end of War, I remember very distinctly Woody Harrelson essentially losing his voice and it being kind of feeling like, this is the end of humans really being able to talk. And then in this one, we have, I guess we don't have a huge amount of humans that can talk, but a decent amount who not only can talk, but are very verbose. Like the human that Noah comes encounters who's hanging out around him and is stealing stuff can talk very easily. For someone who apparently is hanging out around apes in the woods, kind of shockingly good. And then we eventually encounter William H. Macy. But then it also kind of leads into this thing where obviously the ending leading up to more movies where it's going to be there's a campment of humans who can talk, who have satellites and are going to go to war with the apes. I don't know how practical it is. Because that's the thing. So like you encounter William H. Macy, who's essentially a human who is working with the other apes.
Yeah.
The bad guy apes, frankly. And you have May, who is the human woman who's working with Noah and Raka throughout a lot of this. And she's saying, she's condemning William H. Macy for working with the apes. And he's condemning her for not realizing that the apes are the future. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, I think you guys are both wrong. Number one, the apes definitely seem like they're the future guys. But, she could, instead of just being against apes, she could actually pick and choose who she's going to work with, which she does, but I guess in the end she's going to be working with the other humans to take over the apes, and I don't know. I feel like it's setting up more sequels, and it's like I don't like hate the idea of more sequels, but it's like I know exactly where this story is going, guys. I've seen the other movies. I feel like the other trilogy kind of told as much as you can with the apes. And while I guess it's engaging, as long as you do a good job, you can keep going. But like we will start spinning wheels eventually. I definitely see that coming. So yeah, again, I guess essentially my vote is I enjoyed this. I thought this was fine. That's about it. Bobby, any final thoughts?
So, did you think as soon as you heard William H. Macy, he was definitely playing like the Frank Gallagher role? Like going with the flow
Frank. Oh,
from
God,
Shameless.
yeah. Well, I haven't really seen Shameless.
Oh
but,
God, yeah, no, pretty much. Yeah, in a sense, he kind of was doing that. I didn't even know
really?
he was in this movie until
I didn't
he
know that
appeared.
either. Like when the other human popped up, I was like, "Oh, I bet that's gonna be somebody famous. Who is it? Who is it?" And then William H. Macy. I was like, "Oh,
Also, the
I haven't seen him for a
lady,
while."
the lady at the military base.
Yeah, Diana Lachin. She's
Yeah,
someone who popped up quite a bit like 10 years ago, and then I haven't seen her for a little bit, and then she popped up again in this.
I only know her from like that old Joss Whedon show, The Dollhouse.
Yeah, Dollhouse. That's where I first encountered her.
Yeah.
That's not even listed on here. Of course, that show wasn't super successful. Was she
Oh, it
in
was
Jurassic
good.
World Dominion?
I guess.
God, I don't even remember that movie.
According to Google, she was.
Yeah, and
Let me check her IMDb.
I will believe them on this one. It does seem familiar. She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., even though I haven't.
She played Sonata Santos?
I will go with it.
God, that movie was bad.
Oh, yeah. No. Let's bring back all the Jurassic Park characters and kind of do nothing with them and do this super milquetoast story. Yay.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is definitely better than that.
Yes.
Let's see. Anything to add before we go on to X-Men?
No. Let's move on to X-Men because there are things that have to be said.
Okay, so X-Men season 5. I'm going to go ahead and throw out some positives here. I think there's some cool stories here. Not all of them, but there's some cool stories. Like I think Phalanx was fine. No, so I'm skipping that one. The Fifth Horseman was fine. Old Soldiers was probably the highlight. Graduation Day I thought was pretty good. A lot of the other ones are kind of shit. One I really want to highlight because it was a fucking 2-parter was Stormfront. The most predictable cliche story for Storm they could have possibly put together. I swear to fucking God.
That one was,
and it was a 2-parter. Why?
just so bad.
Yes. So like just to go over, like I can go over the story fairly quickly, and it's so predictable. Like it begins with really bad storms, and it's like, okay, definitely a storm episode. I got you. And she has to fly around and try to help fix them. All right, cool. And then she encounters this dude who is obviously sleazy as fuck, super muscle man who's half naked. And he's like, help me and my people in our storms. And she and the X-Men go to help, and she helps and saves the day. And he's like, I love you, be my bride. And she's like, I've known you for 2 hours, but sure, why not? Let's do it. And then the other X-Men start encountering.
No,
the
you're
fact
forgetting.
That he's
He
a terrible
first did
fucking
look
loser.
at my pecs.
Yes. Yeah. And then the other X-Men are like, wow, he seems like he might be like super evil and a terrible ruler. And then guess what, guys? Twist ending. He's an evil and a terrible ruler. And perhaps Storm agreeing to marry a guy after knowing him for a couple hours was probably a bad idea. What a fucking twist, I know.
Yeah.
This was the most cliche, predictable storyline they could have done for Storm. Just why?
I had
Holy
high hopes
shit.
for the Fifth Horseman, but
Yeah,
it let me down.
it
Honestly,
did.
the
It
one that I
wasn't the
enjoyed the
worst,
most,
but yeah.
the one I enjoyed the most was Jubilee's Fairy Tale Theater, actually.
Oh, really? Well, I will also. There's a caveat to all these episodes I have to add, because the animation style has changed pretty drastically this season, and it's all bad in the previous seasons. It's all much worse than the previous seasons, frankly. Phalanx Covenant actually probably did the best of the bunch, but I will say when we get to something like Hidden Agendas, the Cannonball episode, holy shit. Some of the animation they do in this episode is so fucking bad. Holy shit.
Was awful. It was awful.
Dude,
I
here's
did enjoy
Cannonball.
I did
Holy
enjoy
shit.
Old Soldiers. I did enjoy that one.
Yeah.
I particularly like the fact that Wolverine referred to the Nazis as the Goose Stepping Goons.
Yes.
I was more like, wow,
Old
they got away
Soldiers
with
was
something.
a fun little crossover episode with Captain
Yeah.
America and Wolverine going on an adventure. I like how they came up with a stupid excuse for Wolverine to get his claws back then. But it works.
The Descent was all right, I guess. Graduation Day was probably the
Descent.
best.
Oh, Descent was the Mr. Sinister origin story, which I wasn't thrilled with, but
Yeah, me neither. I wasn't too thrilled with that one. Graduation Day probably looked the most like the X-Men series has throughout all of it.
yeah, Graduation Day was
animation-wise.
actually kind of a cool story. Essentially, Professor Xavier is dying, and they need Magneto's help to help contact the Shi'ar because maybe they can save him. You know, and I like that they actually explore the fact that Magneto and Xavier are actually really good friends in this one, especially.
Yeah.
So yeah, like it's between this. Old Soldiers was pretty decent. It's probably between those two for my favorite episode of the season.
I just mostly really loved seeing Wolverine as a troll.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. Like, you really notice in this season how like they're cutting corners with the budget and only bringing back certain actors for voices. Like, I think Wolverine and Beast and maybe Jubilee are in most, if not all, these episodes, but the other ones are really spotty. Like Cyclops, Rogue, Storm. Maybe they're in an episode, maybe they're not. It's really kind of all over the place on whether or not they'll be in an episode. It's pretty much the Wolverine, Beast, and Jubilee season, I guess. Yeah. In short, I think this season was pretty bad. And honestly, I know there was huge budget cuts for this season. They really couldn't get the funding to do this properly. And I wish I could say they were creative enough so that didn't show, but it shows really bad. Yeah. This is by far the worst season. And I know I was a little tepid with season 4, but like this is the worst of the 5 seasons of this show by a decent margin. A lot of it does come down to just the animation being so atrociously bad. I think I already brought up Hidden Agendas. Yeah, that's the Cannonball one. That animation is so bad that it's tough to even watch. Like it's a Cannonball episode. So they have the character of Cannonball there, and he's one of the main characters. He is the main guest star, and he looks fucking awful. I put him in the thumbnail just because it was so noteworthy how fucking bad he looked. Here, let me see if I can get some more images of him. Because he is a main guest
no,
star.
you don't have to.
Think.
You don't have to. Like, it's okay.
Let me see. Yeah, it is. Let me see. Well, I already showed the one that was really bad. Well, I'm not seeing. Ooh, this one looks really bad. Let's do this one. Just there's a lot of really bad shots, but there he is. He's the one. The biggest one there. Fucking main guest star of this episode. He looks awful. The new animation for a lot of the characters looks really bad too. I want to add. I don't know if I can see any pictures. Graduation Day probably will have the best photo. And while Graduation Day is one of the better written ones, it is done in the newer animation style. So even here, the animation doesn't look great. Not a whole lot of photos again. Probably best. Like, I did think Cyclops looked a little weird in that blue shirt.
Yeah, he did look goofy.
Yeah. It's not a good season. I wish it was better. It's got a couple gems. Yeah. It was a little rough to get through. Little rough.
It was.
Anything you want to add, Bobby?
No. Let's get on to the
Yeah.
the deep hurting of this whole episode.
What, Mad Max?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, so I'm kind of interested because I'll be blunt. I love this movie.
I didn't think Tom Hardy was the best pick to play Max.
Really? I kind of like how he's kind of.
I just hear Bane.
Insane
I hear Bane
here.
the entire time.
Eh,
I just hear Bane.
he was
And-
better
and-
here than
and-
Bane.
And Bane, he's just doing a really, really, really shitty, like, Henry Kissinger impersonation.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know. I really like one of the things when I was rewatching this. I really liked it because honestly, like he felt a little unhinged in a lot of this, which
Yeah, and I'll
was
agree with you
appropriate
there
for the character, and
I'll
I really
agree,
like that
yes.
aspect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I really feel like this movie didn't really give you enough time to like breathe, which it helped, but it kind of felt like the story was just being rushed along too much.
That's another aspect I actually like.
I
I kind of like how it's kind of.
I feel well, like with Mad Max, for example, there's like so much open and ambience in that.
You
is
talk about the
like-
original, I assume.
Yeah. So like
Yeah,
much
okay.
where you get to really feel that environment, and here I really don't feel like it's kind of just a secondary thing, except for the sandstorm, which it just kind of feels like that's just the big action set piece we're having with it, and everything else is just kind of minor notes to it. Like I still enjoyed this movie. Like don't get me wrong,
Oh, it's
but
artwork.
just I just.
It's concept art. I was not expecting to come across that.
A lot of
I was looking
concept
for the
art.
sandstorm stuff.
Yeah,
oh my God,
but-
there's lots of stuff for this.
Wait, what was that? Slinley Max? What was that? It's a foreign trailer, yeah. Keep going. Rapid. Yeah.
Sunny Max.
Yeah, just I don't know. And I mean, I didn't mind the introduction of like, Furiosa. I liked that. I
Mhm.
liked, Charlize Theron's character. That was great.
Well, she is kind of the driving point. Max kind of gets caught up in her adventure, which is kind of the norm for all these movies after the first one.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I personally like the breakneck pace because I would argue part of my issue with the first one has always been that it just takes too long to really get to the meat of the story. I don't know. I do like the first one though. I want to make that clear. It just
Yeah.
I wish it got to the story a bit faster. And God damn,
No,
there's a lot of
I
fuckers.
kind of like that more. Yeah, I think it adds more to just like you get an idea of the environment and everything about it. This just felt like it was just purposely just being rushed along because they got to get to the big CGI chaser fight, and man.
See, yeah, and that's what I like. I like how it doesn't spend a whole lot of time. It gives you the basics of what you need for this adventure. Oh my God, how much behind the scenes stuff are we gonna get?
That looks like more like red carpet shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, this is red carpet shit. You are right. That'd be more accurate. My God. Yeah. But anyways, no, I like how it just kind of gives you the basics you need, and then here are the characters, and then yeah, kind of this is the insanity they're going to go through. I think it kind of helps put you kind of almost in their perspective a
See,
bit.
if it's like this, I would have wanted to know more about how the power structure was set up.
Well, that's the thing. So
Um,
like the Mad Max movies are all kind of self-contained stories. So
yeah, exactly.
they're all just whatever George Miller wants to do at the time. And I do like when it comes to these movies, and I want to cover more, but there end up being too much coming up. But like I really like the first one, I think is probably my least favorite, but I like it. And then the second one is probably my second favorite. Just because I feel like that one, you know, you get more of the world. And holy
Yeah.
shit, there's so many photos.
Beyond
You're getting a
photo.
nice photo show on the stream, guys.
Mhm.
But yeah, that I like that one's kind of like the first one. Like if we were to look at Mad Max's character arc in all these, assuming has a character arc, which get wonky. The first one is kind of him, kind of losing everything and kind of going on a revenge mission. So much so that the ending scene of the first one is one of the inspirations for the Saw movies. And then you get the second one where it's kind of he meets this village and helps them out, and that's where he kind of regains his humanity. And then you get to the third one where the first half of the third one is fucking fire, and then the second half is boring. But that one he kind of becomes a hero. And then you get to this one, which is almost kind of like a soft reboot of the character, more or less. And somewhere between the movies, he adopted a daughter and lost her. It seems like. I think I don't know. Like I genuinely love this movie. I love the action. I love just how fast paced the whole thing is. I feel like this one, you know, I'm just gonna get out of this because we are way out of the movies, and I thought I'd get to it sooner. I just like how fast paced it is. How you know, it gives you the bare minimums of the world. Essentially, you got Immortan Joe, who's this dictator. You know, he has everything. He has more than he needs. He has people are struggling for water while he has people on cars playing guitar for him as he rides throughout the fucking desert. Tell me there isn't a wealth disparity going on there. You know,
My another complaint, and this is a minor. I never
Mhm.
got a really good shot of that guitar because there was so much choppy editing around every scene involving the chase.
Mhm.
And I'm not a fan of that style of editing. I'd rather just let the scene breathe.
You know, that could be a critique because this is well, in my opinion, well, I mean, and you know, this is subjective, obviously, but like
Yeah.
this is one of the very few examples where fast cut editing works for me, but it is very fast cut editing. They kind of keep you like focused where you need to for the cut, so it's not too distracting. But yeah, if you're not a fan of fast cut editing, this movie may not be for you. Because yeah, there's some definitely insane editing throughout this. Like in the beginning, where he's obviously being sped up when he's running away from the war boys.
Yeah.
And then it kind of slows down later when he starts getting visions. George Miller definitely plays with some wild editing in this movie. And like I said, it's something I appreciate. I enjoy a lot of that stuff. Just to it's kind of used to establish the tone and the world of this movie. And I really enjoy it. But yeah, no, I kind of love this movie. This is my favorite of the Mad Max movies. It's why I'm excited for Furiosa coming up soon.
Okay, yeah.
Let's kind of see what he does with it. I guess yeah, I guess we don't quite agree on this one, but like
I also feel like I didn't think there needed to be more to tell with this story.
Oh
With
no.
Mad Max
Well,
either.
yeah. Well, all these movies can be taken by themselves.
Well,
And,
yeah. Well, and this was like when Hollywood was doing all those reboots and everything, and this was one that I
Mhm.
just really was kind of like, really, like,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
okay.
And then Gene here brings up a good point. I meant to bring it up too. Immortan Joe is played by the same actor who played Toe Cutter in the first one.
Yeah,
So he plays the villain in half the Mad Max movies.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. He loves the franchise, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And I will also say I kind of like a Mad Max movie not starring Mel Gibson. Not that Mel Gibson isn't a talented guy, but God damn it, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, he is.
I get it.
He is not a good person.
Yeah, he's a shitty person.
Yeah,
absolute shitty person.
he is a talented
Makes some great
actor.
fucking movies,
Yeah.
though. Makes great fucking movies. Well,
It's the same way I feel about Clint Eastwood. Incredibly talented guy.
incredibly talented actor.
Fuck.
Terrible human being.
Yes.
Starred in some of my favorite movies of all
Fuck
time.
yeah.
But fuck, he is a terrible person.
Yes. But yeah, no,
that's just separating the art from the artist.
Yes, it is. And sometimes it's easier than others. With Mel Gibson and Clint Eastwood, it's easier than, let's say, Kevin Spacey. But at least for me. But yeah.
I mean, it depends on the role. I don't think I've watched House of Cards since all that stuff came out. And
dude, I haven't been able to finish. I was like midway through a season, and then all that stuff came out, and I just dropped it. Yeah, I just couldn't finish. Yeah,
I can't. Yeah.
But yeah, no. I'm a huge fan of this. I'm excited for Furiosa. I'm not sure what you're saying, Mikhail. But you see, I'm not excited for Lethal Weapon. I might have been on.
Oh
board
wait,
for
are
a
they
new
doing
Lethal
that?
Weapon.
Are they?
They keep on
reuniting?
talking about it, and when Richard Donner was still alive and saying he was game, I was like, okay, I'll be open to this. But since he
also
passed,
said he would.
I'm kind of done.
Yes, well, also like he said, while he's alive, he would never let it get rebooted.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want a Lethal Weapon reboot either. Although there is also that TV series, which I guess would be kind of a reboot, but I don't know. I never watched it.
Oh, he did say that to
yes,
his
that is a
ex-wife.
quote. Yes,
He did say that to his ex-wife.
I remember going over that. Yeah. So the rumor of Lethal Weapon 5, I swear, pops up every like 2 or 3 years. I don't know if I'm interested. I will say, like, each Lethal Weapon movie, I think got progressively worse. And I don't know if I'd say any of them are quite bad, although the fourth one I think was pushing it, honestly. I don't know. I don't know how excited I would be for Lethal Weapon 5. Maybe it'd be good. I'm always game for a good movie, guys. I mean,
2 was good. 2 was a good sequel.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought the first one was fantastic. I thought the second one was a solid, not quite as good follow-up. I thought the third one was entertaining, although quite a bit more flawed than the other ones. And then 4 was kind of like nice to see everybody back, but
cash grab.
Yeah, it did feel a bit like that. But yeah, I guess we're off beam path for Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah, we are. We're way off.
I love it. You're not as hot on it.
Yeah.
Furiosa comes out in a couple weeks.
I probably will be meh to that one as well.
Well, I am looking forward to it because
that's fine.
I am down for whatever.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, we're allowed to disagree on stuff that we dislike.
No, we're not. We have to fight now.
Okay, Chaos. Okay.
No, that's a nice thing, guys. We can actually disagree on stuff.
Yeah, we could actually disagree on it, and and Chaos has to be okay with being wrong.
I see what you did there. No, but you know what? Your punishment is that you can't be on the podcast next week.
Oh,
I am sentencing you off.
I'm grounded for a week.
You don't get to talk about Kraftwerk with me and George, okay?
Okay.
I know it's painful.
I mean, like, if it was V&V Nation, I'd kind of be more bummed out. If it was A-Pop Berserk, I'd be really bummed out about that.
I wouldn't mind revisiting those guys. I have like it's been like 10 years since I've seen them, but especially A-pop, that was a good fucking show.
There was some people I work with who were telling me how they're into super like electronic music. I'm like, oh, you mean stuff like this? I just play it, and they're just like they were not fans.
Really?
Quote, it's too much boots and hats. And I just kind of looked at him like, hey, just offended by that. Like,
Yeah.
I like stuff like this. And then they played me like some modern electronic dubstep DJ stuff. And I went, oh, that's what you meant by electronic music.
Oh, that's all disappointing. But you know what? After Kraftwerk,
they did like V&V though.
Oh, they didn't like A-pop, but they like V&V.
No, I don't know.
That's
why.
interesting.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how that works, but
neither do I. Neither do I.
I mean, I think Twist My Arm, I'd go for A-pop over V&V, but I don't know. I like them both a lot, and they're very similar.
Mood. It depends on my mood.
Yeah. Anyways, so
I can mix V&V with 9 Inch Nails very easily and be cool. But yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So I was going to say, next week will be myself and George. We're going to be doing Kraftwerk album ranking and concert review. And that'll be interesting because I'm not exactly sure how their live show will work for them. But a little bit I've seen, it seems like they'll be very theatrical because they almost have to be. But
are we doing that for Primus?
Yeah, I figure we'll do something like that for Primus. I don't have it all planned out yet. I just really got collected.
Well, no, the album ranking. Because
yeah.
You are aware they did the full Willy Wonka album, right?
The
like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, like cheer up, Charlie.
So they did the Tim Burton one?
No, they did
the
old,
new one.
No, the old one with Gene Wilder.
Oh, so what they did a soundtrack for it?
Yeah, they do that version of it.
Well, I will look into it, but yeah, I kind of intended something like that.
Okay, that's cool. And I'm assuming for King Crimson, we're going to be just covering the '80s ones.
Yeah, I kind of want to look in. Like, I don't like looking at set lists, but I kind of want to see like a show or two, kind of what they're going into, and then kind of decide based on that. Yeah,
understandable.
Yeah.
Well, we could plan more after we wrap.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we could have a little mini production meeting after.
In 2 weeks, guys, Bobby and I will be back, and we got Furiosa coming up. We got X-Men 97 season 1, and then we got some Star Trek Discovery. I'm really excited to talk about X-Men 97 with you.
I am really excited to watch it because I almost started immediately after watching.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely gonna rewatch it. Going into it because goddamn, like it's not all perfect, but there's a couple episodes that are so fucking good. Holy shit. Yeah, I part of me is concerned about hyping it up too much, but then another part of me is like, I can't. Just know that there's a couple episodes that are just fine, and then a couple episodes that are just so goddamn banger. It's ridiculous. But yeah, that's the plan in 2 weeks. So yeah, guys, like, subscribe, comment. What channel are you guys watching it on? Are you watching Organized Chaos? You should go check out the Organized Chaos podcast channel. You should check out Bobby Quarters.
You should just watch it on Bobby Quarters for the traffic.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, dude, guys, give Bobby Quarters some subs. He needs more subs over there. Give him some subs. Come on. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Bobby Quarters, shame on you.
Shame.
Unfortunately, there's a way you can fix that. So you will no longer be ashamed.
I knew this would fucking come in handy eventually.
There you go. The shame.
The shame bell.
Yeah. But yeah, everyone, have a good one. Be excellent to each other.
Take care of yourself.